Hey, third graders. Today we're going to start with estimating sums. We're on page 26 in your book, hardback book. It says the Hernandez family drives 286 miles on Monday and 203 miles on Tuesday. About how many miles does the Hernandez family drive in all? To find about how many, estimate the sum. The first thing I want you to know is about means to estimate. Whenever you see the word about, it means to estimate. You can use rounding to estimate. So we round each addend to the nearest 10 or 100, then add the rounded amounts. So we have 286 plus 203. We need to round each one of those and then add it. So if we round this to the nearest 10, and we're going to underline that one here. Remember what we did last week when we had our test. A 6 makes an 8 go to a 9. Then that 2 stays the same. That changes to a 0. That 3 makes the 0 stay the same. The 2 stays the same. And we turn the 3 into a 0. So now what we do is add 290 and 200. 0 plus 0 is 0, 9 plus 0 is 9, 2 plus 2 is 4. So it is about 490 miles. That is what happens if we round it to the nearest 10. We can also round it to the nearest 100, and they'll usually tell you what to add it or round it to. So if we take 286 and 203 again and round it to the nearest 100, this time I'm going to underline the hundreds place. The 8 makes the 2 go to a 3. Everything else turns to zeros. That 0 makes the 2 stay the same. Everything else turns to zeros. Then we can add 300 plus 200. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. And 3 plus 2 is 5. So we could either say 490 miles or 500 miles, and they're really close, so the answers are correct. It also tells us we can use front-end estimation. Front-end estimation is what we're going to go over tomorrow. So we're going to pause right there and practice a little bit more of rounding to the nearest 10 and hundreds. So the only thing you're doing different this time is you are adding it at the end. So if I gave you 318 plus 294, and I wanted you to round those and estimate. It'll ask you to do it to the nearest 10 and the nearest 100. So let's do the nearest 10s first. If it's the nearest 10, I'm going to underline the tens place. Then I look to the number next to it to tell me what to do. So right here, the 8 makes the 1 turn into a 2. We keep everything on the left side, put everything on the right side as zeros. That 4 makes that 9 stay the same. Keep that 2, change the 4 to a 0. So let's add that up. 320 plus 290. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 2 is 11. So I'm going to put my 1, carry my 1. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So if we rounded those to the nearest tens and estimated it's about 610. So let's look now at rounding it to the nearest 100. If we had, let me go back real quick and make sure I remember 318 and 294. Let's round these now to the nearest hundreds. So I underline my hundreds place. I'm going to draw my arrows to help me remember. 1 makes a 3, stay a 3. Everything after it changes to zeros. 9 makes a 2 go up to a 3, and everything after it changes to 0. If we add those up, we get 600. So we get about the same answer for each one. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to let you start on your classwork. And then tomorrow we'll go into the front-end estimation, which is similar but a little bit different. All right, so let's do 270 plus 118. Let's round to the nearest tens first. I'm going to underline my tens. That 0 makes the 7 stay the same. So 270 stays the same. It's already kind of rounded for us. The 8 makes the 1 go up to a 2. I keep that 1, change that 8 to 0. Now I can add them up. 270 plus 120. 7 plus 2 is 9. 2 plus 1 is 3. So about 390. So let's do the same thing down here, but with hundreds. I'm going to underline my hundreds place. I'm going to draw my arrows. 7 makes a 2 go up to a 3. Everything after it changes to zeros. 1 makes the 1 stay the same. Everything after it changes to zeros. So now we have 300 plus 100. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So we get 400 there, which is only 10 off from 390, so very close. So what you're going to do today for classwork is you're going to do page 26, numbers 1 through 4 in your hardback book. And for homework, you're going to do workbook, page 19, numbers 1 through 8. You're only doing 1 through 8 on homework. Don't do the other parts yet because that's front-end estimation and we're not there yet. So classwork, do these 4 problems on page 26. Don't go any further than that. And homework is that workbook page. So this is the end of Monday's video, and I'll see you back for Tuesday. All right, Tuesday's video. So yesterday we started with estimating sums. We did not get to front-end estimation. I wanted you to do the rounding part of it first. So now let's look back at page 26. Let's look at the bottom with the first blue arrow. Right under that, it gives us the definition of front-end estimation. You can use front-end estimation by changing all the digits after the greatest place to 0. So this is a pretty easy one. If we have 286 and 203, when we're using front-end estimation, all we do is take the biggest place and everything after it, make it zeros. So my biggest place is the hundreds place in both of them. So what I would do is keep the biggest place, keep that 2, and make everything after it zeros. Same thing here, I'm going to keep the 2 and make everything after it zeros. And when we add it up, we get 400. So that one's a pretty easy way. Let's practice another one with that. I'm going to clear this real quick. Let's look at 315 plus 428. I wrote it sideways, and I want you to be able to take that and stack it up. So all we do is stack it like this. So first, let's go through and underline our biggest places. Our biggest places here are the hundreds. Then I'm going to make my front end estimations. I keep the 3. Everything after it turns to zeros. So the 1 turns to a 0 and the 5 turns to a 0. Then I'm going to keep my 4 and make the 2 a 0 and make the 8 a 0. And then I can add it up. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 3 is 7. So I get about 700. Okay, so these are front end. They're super simple. Today for classwork, you're going to do page 26, and this is your hardback book, numbers 5 through 8. And homework, you're going to do workbook, page 19, numbers 9 through 12. So what you didn't do last night, you'll do tonight. So this is what you're going to work on today. This is your classwork, and this is your homework. Get both of those done, and if you have any questions, let me know. All right, so this is your Wednesday video. Today you're going to take a little bit of a quiz on rounding with estimating and front-end estimation. You'll take the quiz that I gave you in your little packet. It's the one where I hand wrote on both sides the problems. Make sure you look at the directions. I don't think I gave you any front-end estimation on this one. So there's no front-end estimation. It's just going to be regular rounding. So let's practice a couple of those. Let's look at 634 plus 153. You have two ways here, rounding it to the nearest 10 and rounding to the nearest 100. So I'm going to write it again down here so we can do it twice. First, let's do it to the nearest hundreds. 3 makes that 6 stay the same. I put zeros after it. 5 makes that 1 go up to a 2 with zeros after it. And if you look at this one, it's very similar to front-end estimation, but you do have to round. You won't get the same answer every time. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 2 is 8, so we get about 800. Then let's look at rounding to the nearest 10. That 4 is going to make that 3 stay the same. Remember, I keep everything over here on the left. Keep my 3 because 4 makes it stay the same. Put a 0 at the end. That 3 makes that 5 stay the same. I'm going to keep my 1, make that 3 into a 0. Then I add. 5 plus 3 is 8. 6 plus 1 is 7. 780. So they are about 20 off. Make sure you pay attention today on your quiz to the directions. Make sure that you are making the right rounding. Underline your numbers, draw your arrows if you need to. I don't think there's any front-end estimation on there, but double check. If you guys have any questions, let me know. All right, here is our Thursday video. Today we're going to start with adding 2-digit and 3-digit numbers. So I'm going to be on page 30 for this. Nope, not 30, sorry. We're going to skip over that page. We're going to be on page 32 in your hardback book. I skipped over the lesson before this because I think it's more confusing than it's going to be helpful. So we're going to look at adding with regrouping, where you have to carry your numbers over to the next column. So let's look at 32. Today there are 276 third grade students and 241 fourth grade students at the Man School coding event. How many students are at Man School coding event in all? First thing I want you to write down is in all means you add, so it's equal to adding. When you see the words in all, you need to add. So it first asked you to estimate. You don't have to estimate on your classwork. I just want to make sure you can add. Estimating does help you make sure you're getting the correct answer though. So we have, let's look, 276 third graders and 241 fourth graders. So we stack them up just like that, draw a line under it, and make sure they're nice and neat. If you look into your book, it has nice little boxes it draws in between. If you need graph paper to line your numbers up, you can use that as well. So what we do is we start over here in our ones column, and we add 6 plus 1. I'm going to use red so you can see. 6 plus 1 is 7, so I put it right down there. Then I go to my tens. 7 plus 4 is 11, but I can't put 2 digits in this box. I'm going to keep the ones digit down here, and I'm going to carry that tens digit to my next column. So let's recap. 7 plus 4 is 11. I'm going to keep the ones digit of 11 down here and take the tens digit into the next column. Then I add those. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I get 517 students. Okay, so let's practice some more of those. And you may know how to do this already. This is only going to regroup one time, so you only have one number to carry. So let's do 312 plus 508. There we go. Let's try that one. 312 plus 508. So we're going to start in our ones column, which is right here. Then we're going to add 8 plus 2. I get 10. So I'm going to pull my 0 down here, and I'm going to carry my 1. So I put my ones digit down there and carry the other number up. Then I add 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. And then I don't have anything else to carry, so I add 5 plus 3, and I get 8. 820. Let's try 517 plus 614. Let's try this one. So we start over here in our ones column. 7 plus 4 is 11. So I'm going to put my 1 and carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And then 6 plus 5 is 11. When you get all the way over here, if there's nowhere else to carry your number, you just put it right here. There's nowhere else to carry that 1, so it goes right down here. 1,131. All right, so what you're going to do today for classwork is you're going to do page 32, numbers 1 through 8. And for homework, you're going to do workbook, page 23. Keep in mind where you start. Make sure you line your numbers up correctly and make sure that you carry your numbers. You might want to double check your work and do it again just to make sure, whatever works for you. So we're going to practice some more of this tomorrow. So if you don't totally understand it today, look back for Friday's video and we're going to practice some more. All right, Friday's video. So today we're going to be doing the same thing as yesterday. We're going to be on page 32 and 33, and we're going to practice some more adding. So let's do this one. Let's do 677 plus 151. I stack them up nice and even, and everything looks neat and ready to go. So 7 plus 1 is 8, so I'm going to drop my 8 down there. Then I have 7 plus 5, so we need to add 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to put my 2 down here and carry my 1. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So I get 828. Okay, let's try 246 plus 183. We start in our ones column, 6 plus 3, which is 9. So I'm going to put my 9. 8 plus 4, 9, 10, 11, 12 again, just like in the other problem. So I'm going to drop down my 2, carry my 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 429. And if you want to get into the habit of circling your answers, that's cool too. Circling it makes it a lot easier when we check them. All right, let's look at some more. Let's do 427 plus 292. Okay, start in our ones column. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. So I'm going to put my 1, carry my 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. So I get 719. Let's try 526 plus 318. I'm going to draw a line right there to kind of separate it. So we're going to start in our ones column. 8 plus 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to put down my 4, carry my 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Nothing to carry, so I'm going to go over. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I get 844 is my answer. Okay, so let's look at what you're going to do today. There will be no homework because it's Friday, but you do have classwork. You're going to do page 33 in your hardback book, numbers 9 through 16. Okay? There's no estimating here. I just want you to add. No homework, like I just said. So once you get these done, you'll be done. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a good weekend.